This is task 7, and in here we need to work out how many holidays were booked of each of the 4 time periods. So if I look at the data sheet, you can see people could go on holiday for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, or 14 days. And we need to count up each of those. If I scroll down, you'll see that there are 500 rows, but we have row 1 as a title. So there's actually 499 records. This is important for testing whether or not we've done this correctly, because they should add up to 499. For this, we're going to use something called a pivot table. So if I go to data, halfway down it says pivot table, and it's going to ask me where I want the pivot table and where the information is coming from. I want to put the pivot table right here. So on an existing sheet, if I click what location, it's pre-written it in their analysis, A33, okay. For the data range, I want the data range to be the table on the data page. So I'm going to go and select it, but look at this. It's suggested the correct place anyway. So I'm just going to click there. If yours doesn't come up like that, you can just type that in this place here. Data, exclamation mark, A1, colon, M500. Okay, and create. So the pivot table comes in empty, and we have to fill this in. What I'd suggest is having a play around and a little experiment. You can't break it. Worst that can happen is you do something you don't like and then just remove it. But pivot tables can be very powerful. So for the rows, that's what's going to come down here. I want that to be the trip durations, and this is going to be like a heading. So there you've got the 4 different trip durations. In the values, I also want the trip durations, but I don't want a sum. What I want is to count them. And as you can see, this is definitely correct because they all add up to 499. So now I've got all of them in there.